Hey guys, I'm Bad Brad, and welcome to another episode of Driving Fast and Taking Chances. Some pretty familiar faces with us. We got Team Rumley with us tonight. We got Kevin and Jacqueline. We're going to be talking about lots of great topics today, so you definitely want to watch this episode. It's not one you want to miss. This episode brought to you by Jeff Hill Trailer Sales in Modoc, Indiana. JeffHillTrailerSales.com has got everything you need. Cargo, utility, stacker, full-blown race trailer, whatever you need, Jeff and his crew will get you taken care of. JeffHillTrailerSales.com. Check them out today. Guys, welcome to the show, and thanks for accommodating your schedule to work with ours.
Yeah, thank you for fitting us in.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us, Brad.
So we'll cover the stuff that guys probably don't know. Everybody knows Kevin, but everybody doesn't necessarily know Jack. You're getting to be more famous, though. So maybe for good and bad reasons, but that's okay. They're getting to know. So Jacqueline was actually one of our OG employees way back in the day. Oh, my gosh. How old were you then? We won't tell how old you are now, but
It was like 2011.
Wow, that was a long time ago, wasn't it?
2010,
Seems like,
2011-ish.
Yeah, so when we actually had front office employees and we decided to be, all about that,
Yeah.
Jackie was one of our
That
first.
was me in your basement.
That was. Yeah, you were, she was one of the OGs.
I was working through undergrad at the time.
Yeah, you were. Absolutely. Now, you've got some late model history that people don't know anything about.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of your history and kind of where you came from.
My parents grew up, I grew up with my parents being involved in dirt track racing.
Yeah.
My mom was more like helped run like the junior fan club and did the souvenir programs and stuff like that. And my dad was just a mechanic. That evolved to my mom buying my dad a race car.
Nice.
But my dad wasn't a driver, so then we had hired drivers. Then we only raced at one track in Southwestern Ontario that had super late models.
Because they don't know, you're Canadian.
Yeah, I'm Canadian.
Yeah.
So Southwestern Raceway was the name of the track that I grew up at. It was the only track in Southwestern Ontario that had super late models. So my parents were like, let's start a series. So they started the series that started traveling throughout Ontario.
And that went along for a while,
It
though,
was
right?
like 10, 11
Was
years.
that Ontario Dirt Late Model Series?
It was.
Okay, yeah, right on.
So it went from like 2001 to 2011 or so.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like I was a teenager essentially running their marketing and their social media and
Right on.
hospitality and all that stuff at the time. So that's kind of what started my career really.
So really, you and Kevin being together, like, it's just natural because you've done it your whole life. He's done it his whole life. Like, this is just like, just match made in heaven. Isn't that so sweet? Isn't that work out
Yeah,
good?
some people think that I moved here like to be with him, and I'm like, all right, I was always here.
Yeah.
I was already here for like 2-3 years before.
Sure, yeah. So I got to pick on it. This is great. So she always used to say, yeah, my roommate Kevin. And it's great because you left one day and Christine was like, roommate, my beep. Yeah. I was like, yeah. She's like, I've never seen anybody light up when they talk about their roommate. So one of the coolest social media posts ever you wrote a few years ago. Do you remember that social media post?
2015.
It was probably the most epic. You talked about the American dream, marrying your best friend, getting to show the world how good Jonathan Davenport was.
Yes.
I mean, I'm telling you, if you weren't a Rumley, a Davenport, and a Jacqueline fan, and you read that, you need to leave, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was definitely from the heart. A lot of great things happened that year, so I was very, very thankful.
Yeah. Do you remember the post? Do you remember exactly what you said in the post, or could you paraphrase it?
Briefly, but
Hit it. Let's go.
yeah.
Do it.
Well, I mean, got to marry my best friend, got to travel the United States with my dad, win a championship that no one else thought we could do. Probably had no business racing, but our
You
speed.
quit your job to do it.
Yeah, quit my job to do it. Quit a very, very good job to do it that I loved. So it weren't supposed to win the championship. We overcame it by speed and a very, very talented driver. So very, very thankful for that year.
And I believe the way that you ended it, if that isn't the American dream, I don't know what is. So, Jackie, will you do me a favor? Will you find that post for me and send it to me? You don't have to find it right now, but find it for me. Send it to me because I want to put that on the podcast.
Right.
I want people to read that. We'll send them back to the link. Check
And
it
it's
out.
funny because he's like not even on social media anymore.
No, that's cool. But you're definitely on
still
social
has
media,
it.
so that's
I
fine. Find that post and send it because that was really, really good. I was like, man, that really hit home. And what was crazy is the first time that I met you was at my surprise 40th birthday party. I knew all about you. I'd heard about you, but I didn't even know you. And there's Kevin at my 40th birthday party, so that was pretty cool.
roommate.
Yeah. It's your roommate. Thank you for bringing your roommate to my party. So
Well,
yeah.
it was kind of cool when Jacqueline and I first started hanging out. you were on the show called Madhouse.
Oh yeah, the TV show. Yeah, yeah.
And we would have play dates and watch that. And
I didn't get it on my TV. That's before I even lived with him.
What?
So I would drive up and watch it. At
So
his
you can
house.
watch it on his. Oh, that's pretty
I would
cool,
drive
man.
over-
you
watch
did
it
a
on Sunday
very, very
nights.
good job on that show.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Yep.
I've received, obviously, there's always some criticism. But one of the coolest things, man, and we raced against each other. We hated each other when we were kids and ran over each other every week, but we got to be really good friends. Burt Myers. And Burt Myers, one of the statements that I remember Burt Myers making, it was just humbling. He goes, dude, what you did for the show brought the whole thing together. It was the ultimate glue. And I was like, man, that made me feel great.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. You were the focal point of the show, and I really thought you had a radio show.
well, the way that actually came about, oddly enough, was being a guy named Doc Love actually had a radio show at East Coast Wings called Kickin' Asphalt. And the producers, Grant Kaler and Tim Tracy, came and saw it. And we had like Tim Brown and the drivers were all talking smack about each other. And basically he approached me and said, hey, would you be willing to be the voice of Madhouse? And I was like, man, how you going to make us sound like a bunch of rednecks? He said, you are a bunch of rednecks. So he actually gave me some script liberties. I didn't have to say everything on there. I got to make Chris Fleming mad, which we're really good friends now. But there was a lot of neat pieces to it, man. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the timing was right. Everybody's like, would you do it again? I was like, no, I really wouldn't. It was pretty fun then, though.
It tied it all together, though, instead of just being clips of people racing.
Sure. Yeah. And we had to figure out a way to do that, but that's cool. I did not know that your courtship included my TV role. That's pretty awesome. So, man, even better connection there. And ironically enough, when your in-laws came to town, last year before?
Yeah.
We even hosted them at our house because our places are pretty close
Yes,
together. So that
yes.
worked out nice. So, yeah, absolutely. So, Longhorn. If people don't know what Longhorn is or who Longhorn is, in the late model world, they got to live under a rock at this point. How did you get involved with that? And my understanding, is that something that the Labanis started, or was that something that you were involved in from ground zero?
No, Justin Labani and Bob Labani actually started the business in their old nationwide bush shop.
In Trinity.
Yeah, in Trinity.
And if people haven't been there, that is a state-of-the-art facility, drop dead gorgeous. My engines, when I ran the NASCAR Modified Tour, came from there. Fred Terza, who is now
yes.
with VP,
Yes.
built my engine. So
And a neighbor as well, right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's all kind of same circle too, and a great shop, cool people, good folks too.
Yeah. So actually, Jacqueline introduced me to Miranda Labani. Met Justin. Earl Pearson Jr. was driving for Bobby Labani.
Yeah.
Out of that shop at the time, and they wanted to take their chassis to a different level. So we kind of worked out a creative deal where my family team could race out of their shop. They compensated me a little bit, and the rest is history, I guess.
Now, you and your dad are involved at this point. Is Steve Shaver driving for you at this time?
Steve Shaver's driving,
Okay.
and Earl Pearson Jr. is still in the house car.
Okay, good deal. So how does this grow? How does this evolve?
But so Jonathan Davenport left Boyer Motorsports 2012. We started to reconnect in 2013, but we weren't ready. So he drove for a Mount Airy team, AES Racing, I believe.
Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, good guy. Absolutely.
And Jason Durham was his crew chief.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
So he raced for them for a year, and then we reconnected in 2014. And we talked for years about all the ideas we had to make the cars faster. And we were able to apply those ideas and find a lot of speed in 2014.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did the same thing in the off season and picked up right where we left off in 2015.
So you go in, I mean, at that point, dirt late models kind of all look the same. I remember being at a Warrior open house before Sebring sold to Mike. And I was there with the fire suit company. They were a dealer for us. And Scott came in and they had a car sitting on the jig. And I remember him walking around kind of silently looking at it. And he looked up and he goes, every front end still looks like one of CJ's cars. And everybody just kind of laughed. They're like, well, we ain't found anything any better. And I asked Mike, so what does he mean by that? Well, he's like, well, everything kind of looks the same. We're all just moving bars and we're really just swinging for the fence, but we don't even know where the fence is yet. You guys found the fence really early and y'all were doing some crazy things. If you had to take one piece away from that, what would you say the first widget that you guys put on the car that was kind of the remarkable, oh my gosh, that really did work? What was your first eureka moment?
I would say some front end steering geometry was big. Engine placement was big. And then a compliant droop limiter was huge.
So everybody doesn't understand what you just said. Without being an engineer, which is hard, explain what that means, the droop limiter.
Yeah. So the droop limiter, so late models require a lot of anti-squat to get the cars in an aerodynamic platform to produce maximum side force and downforce. So, but once you get the cars up, they're kind of solid, kind of bounce on the left rear. You can hear the engines, going wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
So the first thing we found was a compliant droop limiter that would kind of cushion that movement. And that was very exciting times because anything you would do to solve a problem was definitely tenths of a second on the stopwatch.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And y'all were making wholesale changes and y'all were seeing big numbers. Yes. And the results that year, well, those multiple years you guys were together was like, if Davenport shows up, we're kind of racing for second.
Yeah.
It's kind of the way it seemed.
And we got on the load sticks for scaling from Bubba Gale. And he was a pioneer in his load machines.
Yeah.
So we started to understand kind of a dynamic spring rate, I guess you could say, and we maximized that for right rear grip and aero platform.
And for the guys that don't know Bubba Gale Force, I would say, from my knowledge, and I know Bubba and Cale extremely well. In fact, Cale's suit sometimes right here on the wall. He was the first guy to really commercially produce what we call or know as a spring smasher ultimately.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everybody has a version now, but yes.
He was a pioneer in the industry, and we definitely learned a lot from pioneers in our sport.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So the deal's going on with Davenport. That's great. How long were you and JD together in that kind of package?
Yeah, so we were together from 14 to the end of 16. And then as our family team, we kind of stepped away from full-time racing, and he kind of went on his own a little bit with Barry Wright. And then we reconnected again in 2018 with Lance Landers.
Gotcha. And that's where he's at now.
Yes.
And he's been there since 18.
Yeah.
And for the foreseeable future, he'll be there through 3018 if he lives that long.
Yeah,
So
it's an incredible tenure for a national late model driver, and it's a testament to what kind of driver he is and what kind of person he is.
I would agree with that, but also on their end, the support, the team is there. It really is the whole package. We were talking today, Jeff Gordon, Ray Everham, Tony Stewart, Greg Zipadelli. When you look back at the greats that kind of go like that, it just seems that, man, it just works. And everywhere he goes, he's a contender.
Yeah, and he's been an unofficial house car for Longhorn Chassis for forever. So we'll continue to support him and find enjoyment in his success.
Absolutely. Your opinion of all the drivers that you've worked with, who's the most talented guy you've worked with so far in your application?
Well, it's different. So I worked with a lot of great drivers, and all the greats are just a little bit different. So some are better raw talent, some are better at telling you what they feel so you can make better adjustments. Some drivers know where to be on the racetrack. Some drivers know how to take care of their tires. So all the greats, like Steve Shaver, Tim McCready, Hudson O'Neill, Davenport, RTJ.
Yeah.
Definitely have their attributes and they're different, which makes the racing really good.
Right on. But from a input standpoint, who's the easiest guy you've worked with? Is able to get out of the car and tell you, Kevin, A, B, C, D, you guys really just gel and it just hits and it just works.
I would say Davenport and Hudson O'Neill.
Yeah.
Is right up there. That Davenport knows exactly what he wants to feel in the race car. Hudson's getting there. He's very young.
Yeah.
He's getting there. Tim McCready, he's incredible raw talent. Kind of knows when he's not good.
Yeah.
Right. And kind of drivers like Larson and RTJ know when they're not good, but they just go out and drive the crap out of the car.
Sure. So Larson, everybody loves Kyle. I mean, how do you not love Kyle? How did you guys get together on that deal? How did that even come together?
Well, it was 2020, and it was during the pandemic, and I think everybody was bored, and some people's lives were changing. So a mutual friend connected us, and he had a lot of spare time at that time.
Yeah.
And could devote his talents to other forms of racing. So we hooked up and found immediate success.
And we all saw that. I would always revel in Jackie's pictures. Like, it's like every week, man. It's like, did anybody else come? Did anybody else show up? Excuse me. It was like it was the Kyle Larson show. It seemed to be, and he can obviously drive anything. So
Yeah, and incredible talent. And what impressed me about him the most was he knew where to be on the racetrack at all times.
so just almost situational or racetrack awareness, if you will.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Like he would find the traction no matter where it was.
Right. And I think that's one of the kind of staples for me when I watch it, watching good drivers. They're always looking for, where do I have some grip? Where do I have some grip? I remember Jonathan early when I ran some crate stuff. He was at a track somewhere and he just came over and he says, you need to be looking for brown dirt all the time. And I was like, what? He goes, well, that means there's moisture there. And moisture's not a bad thing, especially when we get this late in the day. That's where you're going to make all of your ground. He says, if the moisture's at the top, you need to be at the top. If the moisture's at the bottom, you need to be at the bottom. There's no possibility it's going to be in the middle. Don't be in the middle. He was never wrong. So yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And the color of dirt changes it. Like if you go to Florida, it's different.
Yeah.
If you go to Georgia, South Carolina, it's different. And anywhere above the Mason-Dixon line or out west is definitely different.
How do you find, it looks like, well, it doesn't look, it's proofs in the pudding. The Longhorn cars just seem to work no matter where we're at. But regionally, when we go, and we'll beat on Rusty here, in Ohio and Michigan, his cars are incredible. Your cars are not bad, but they're there all the time. It's like they have that knowledge of what's going to go on. Even Jim Bernheisel, right there around Lebanon, PA, man, they understand Lebanon clay. The Carpenters, Freddie and Tyler, man, around Parkersburg, they've kind of got their stuff. How have you built such a good platform that just seems to work everywhere?
Well, I mean, the powers in the numbers and having really, really good customers and can support the customers in whatever they need. So we pride ourselves on customer support and we try to go out of our way to satisfy the customers so they can operate at their best.
So I actually mentioned to a group of folks, a mixed company the other day that were here picking some suits and some stuff up. They knew about the podcast and they're like, man, you need to get Kevin Rumley on there. I was like, oddly enough, Kevin's coming. He goes, I want you to ask him one question for me. I was like, all right. He goes, does everybody get the same level of support?
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone gets the same support. If a customer is struggling and we know about it, like it's hard to know if a customer is struggling or not, but if we know about it, we'll go out of our way to help them.
I tell people all the time, sometimes my daughter will complain about this, that, and the other. It's like, well, have you spoke to him about it? Have you addressed the problem? And in most cases, the answer is no. So I tell her, I say, I want you to pull up to the McDonald's drive-through window with your window rolled up. Don't pull up to the window and be pissed you didn't get your order. Isn't that kind of what we're dealing with?
Correct.
And I think
Yes.
that's really the foundation of good customer service. If you know there's a problem, you can address it. If I don't know, I can't fix what I don't know is going on.
Absolutely. So for any of our customers, if you're struggling or have a problem or we don't meet your expectations, we need to know about it and then we could address it.
How approachable is Kevin Rumley? If I see Kevin Rumley at the track, not me, obviously we know each other, Racer X, he's got one of your cars and he wants to ask you a question. How approachable is Kevin Rumley at the racetrack?
I would say very approachable, but when I have a job to do, I kind of lock myself in my trailer and kind of focus on what I'm doing. But if I'm ever there, I never turn down any questions.
Gotcha. So we talked a little bit about advancements, changes, things like that. The things that really made Longhorn, I'm not going to say take off because the brand was already had a little motivation or a little momentum before you got there. And then you got there and things kept going. At what point did you guys color far enough outside the lines that they decided they needed rules? Because there was a big conspiracy not a conspiracy, but there's a whole section of a rule book now that's your fault, Kevin. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we were in an opportunity and had the support from the Lonnies and some family friends that we could design a suspension at midnight the night before, and I could pick it up the next morning. Wow. And we could go implement it for the next race. So we were, what other teams, it would take them a month to build and a month to test. We were building it and testing it and racing it all within a few days.
Wow.
So it made it very powerful.
Yeah. Absolutely. So what was the hang up? What did everybody get upset about? Or what did the sanctioning bodies get upset about?
So the sanctioning body said that cost was never an issue. It was the ability to color outside lines and make stuff overnight and be able to go race it the next weekend.
They didn't like that.
They did not like that, and they said that would remove racers by buckets.
Wow. But arguably, we're doing this Lucas Oil World of Outlaws. We're at the top level of the sport. If we were in the Cup Truck Busch world, F1, Indy, isn't that kind of the competitive advantage, though?
Yeah, and there's debates on whether rules help the sport, hurt the sport, but I think there's so many rules, it's very hard for them to police what they have, their main power. And if we have the same rule package year after year after year, you're going to converge on the optimal answer, and it's going to make it very, very hard for anyone new to come into the sport, which I think is tragic. So I think maybe we need to go back and maybe open some things up, have a completely new rule package or something just to get some parity in the sport back.
Where do you see, obviously the cars are extremely well engineered. I understand from a photograph that we saw earlier this year, we saw a dirt late model in a wind tunnel. That's not a common thing, or we weren't seeing that before. Everybody's pulling down, everybody's doing these things. How far has set up and preparation technology come in the last decade?
It's huge. Like, we look at our shocks at a level that the NASCAR teams look at. We look at our spring loads at a level the NASCAR teams look at. We're getting into some CFD stuff and definitely some wind tunnel stuff. So the advancement in our sport the last 10 years has been definitely fun and exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. What's next? Is there anything you can release or let us know what to be looking for next?
I mean, when Steve Artman partnered with Justin Labonte, it took Longhorn to the next level. Our consistency is by a factor of 10 better. So customers can get new cars and use the same notebook and go out and immediately win with them. So we've invested in capital investments for some new equipment to help consistency. So that's what we're striving for, is production and consistency and customer service.
The last time I drove by there, it looked like an investment in some more real estate wouldn't have been a bad idea either. I remember when y'all moved in that facility, it's like, man, we got it. We're covered. This will be great. 2 weeks later, there's no way that you and Steve look so go, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah. So Steve's got his eye on the property behind Longhorn.
Okay.
So he has maybe some verbal commitments that they might sell a chunk.
Oh, nice.
And Steve's a very visual person. He likes diagrams. So he's already got his dreams, and
nice.
And he's a big thinker. So he's already got it planned out.
Do you feel that your geographical location is a competitive advantage or helps you? Because, there's hotbeds of late models in Indiana. There's hotbeds of late models in, Eastern Tennessee. There's hotbeds of late models in Florida. Do you find that being where you guys are, that being closer to the resources is a competitive advantage or helps?
Oh, absolutely. Like we have our own CNC equipment. There's CNC equipment everywhere. If we have an idea and want to test a part, we can design it and literally have it the next day.
Wow.
So that's very, very hard to do outside this area. So I would definitely say it's a competitive advantage.
Well, even employees too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the employee pool.
That's a good point, Jacqueline, because, it's funny. We're hoping to get Austin or Ty or even Richard on here at some point. We can talk about farming because, we farm too. We'd like to get him on here. Someone said, yeah, Richard said he put his shop up here because you can't roll your toolbox next door if you get pissed off, and he can pay everybody less. I thought about that, and I was like, you know what? People would get mad, be like, man, that's genius, actually. You're not in Mooresville.
That's the old joke. You roll your pit box down the road.
Why does Snap-on toolbox have wheels? So the mechanic can roll his toolbox next door at lunchtime. This episode brought to you by Jeff Hill Trailer Sales in Modoc, Indiana. JeffHillTrailerSales.com has got everything you need. Cargo, utility, stacker, full-blown race trailer, whatever you need, Jeff and his crew will get you taken care of. JeffHillTrailerSales.com. Check them out today. This episode brought to you by the 2026 Chili Bowl Nationals. You want to find out more? ChiliBowl.com. There are still tickets available for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and you can buy them online. First time ever, jump on there and get your Chili Bowl tickets. Great seats still remain for the 2026 Chili Bowl Nationals.
Tulsa, Oklahoma, 40th anniversary. Don't miss it. chilibowl.com.
When you're on an island or you're away from the resources, and I just think back like Billy Moyer, he was in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
What? I mean, today I think it would be really hard, which I guess Landers technically is there. Are they in Arkansas? I mean, they're in Arkansas also, but I see that truck over by your place a lot.
Yes.
So, and what they're doing, and you guys are supporting those tours on a weekly basis. They're seeing the stuff. I'm sure phones are ringing, text messages are happening, those kind of things in order to keep everybody relevant.
Yeah.
What is your actual title and position with Longhorn?
Design engineer, do a lot of project manager, and then I run the R&D team, which is my family owned team. Still, so kind of a little bit of everything.
Yeah. How many races a year do you guys run now as a family team?
I think last year we did 10 or 11. We'll probably do the same thing. Like a good frequency is leaving the shop once a month.
Yeah.
Except for Arizona, that's 10 right there.
Yeah, but leaving the shop once a month, I think.
Are you? Is that all you want to do? Are you content with that?
Yeah, I think that stretches our team kind of to the limit.
Yeah.
With our current manpower and resources, so we like to get very, very prepared for a race and come loaded for bear, and I think that helps us compete with the teams that race 100 times a year.
Yeah.
Because we can actually be prepared and focus and concentrate on where we're going next.
I heard a wise man once tell me it's difficult to do something sometimes that everybody else does all the time and expect to be as good as they are. That was Lewis Dow, who started competition karting, one of the foundations where a lot of us actually came from. And I never really thought about that until I probably got to be in my 30s and I got back into shifter kart racing. And he was not wrong. The more that you do it, the more that you immerse yourself in that culture, you know what bar to move. You guys, in your case, you know what shock to change, what bar, the things that. So with you guys only coming 10 times a year, and most of the time, you guys are hero status by the end of the night. I mean, how many victory lane pictures did we get to post this year,
Yeah.
So, and even world finals. I mean, it's even guys that don't run with the tour all the time. We get all that upstate South Carolina crowd. We get that East Tennessee crowd. We get the crowd from up north that migrate. Everybody kind of converges on Charlotte for that deal. And you guys roll up and won. You won the second night or first night?
First night.
First night. Yeah. You roll and almost won it the second night.
The last night, and JD is who beat us. But
Yeah, absolutely.
We're so close with JD. If anyone's going to beat us,
Yeah. I mean, if you got to lose to guys, that's the guy you want to lose to.
He was in the trailer asking advice, like at one point. I'm like,
Yeah.
help him. I'm kidding.
Yeah, and I feel like Davenport's on top of his game now. So to almost sneak up and beat him in Charlotte was
Huge.
Was a very good confidence booster for us.
Yeah, absolutely. It had to be good for Hudson too, because I mean, like,
Yeah.
he's a killer driver, great guy. I met his wife when I was up there. We did a little bit of hoodie work for them a while back. They're great folks to work with, but he, like you said, he's young, but this kid's unbelievable talent.
Yeah, people forget he's only 25 because
Yeah.
he's been racing full time for 10 years already.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and he's at a point in his career where he's a student of the sport, so you can make little comments and try to teach him things that you see on the track, and he definitely, you could see it register and you could see him apply it on the track. So very exciting. Hudson reminds me of a young Davenport.
Yeah.
And it's definitely very exciting to work with a young talent like that.
So the guys that you work with, O'Neill, Davenport, these other guys, obviously Kyle is at the top level of racing. I mean, I guess unless you consider it Formula One higher, some people would, I wouldn't, but, do you feel like your drivers are content? Are they racing what they want to race, when and where they want to do it? Or do you feel like they're using this as a stepping stone?
I feel like some of the drivers are content. Drivers like RTJ want to go race everything.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, and he does.
Yeah.
T-Mac's done that throughout his career as well. So it definitely makes him well-rounded. But the drivers that are the top of our support our sport are making a very good living souvenir-wise and purse-wise. So I would say most of them are pretty content.
Yeah. We had Bobby on, and we asked him, I said, hey, if you had a chance today to go cup racing, would you do it? And he said, no. I'm like, what? He goes, no. I'm doing exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
I'm racing at the top level. I'm successful. Life is good. I'm making a decent living. I see my people. I get to wake up, do what I want to do. No. So, yeah.
I would personally like to see Bobby at the Chili Bowl. sometime or something.
Yeah,
So
that'd be pretty great. I don't know if-
I think the way he drives and the talent he has, I think he would fit right in and excel at that.
So obviously, Bobby switched to your stuff. What? How many years ago? 3-4 years ago?
I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. It's probably 23.
Because he left House Cars, went to Rocket, then to you guys, or did he go Rocket? Did he go Pierce, Rocket, Pierce,
Yeah, because
Longhorn?
Doug Benson was Rockets,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
then went back to
Yeah.
Pierce and then back to
Yeah.
Longhorn. And
Gotcha.
to Longhorn.
Gotcha. And it's odd. We don't see a lot of family teams. That's what's awesome about you guys. You still own your stuff. It's yours. It's your race car. If it falls off the trailer and it falls in the woods, you got to go dig it out. It's yours.
Yes.
So that's your motorhome. That's your trailer. And you don't have a big stacker. I pass you guys. It's pretty cool. When I see you pulling out of the marina there, it's like, oh, they're going racing.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. So, and you just got with 30-foot trailer or so.
Yeah, well organized 32-foot trailer.
No,
that
it's nice inside. Absolutely.
We have everything we need to race, all but a backup car. And the guy that owns our shop in D&E Marine, Dave Fritz, he takes our backup car whenever we need.
It
Nice.
used to be on an open trailer. You'd see like
Oh,
movies
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Now he's upgraded to like a little enclosed trailer.
Well, that's cool though.
Like,
You
so
know,
he'll be going out with Arizona with Kevin.
we got the opportunity to work with Chevrolet Performance my last year in a late model before I got hurt. And the lady was like, yeah, we want to buy you a trailer, you know? And I was like, oh man, that's great. You know, it was a big sponsorship deal. And they were like, we have a relationship with Featherlight, and they named all these brands. And they were like, what do you want? I said, I want a Kaufman. They went, you want a what? I said, I want a Kaufman. So she looks up, she goes, they don't make an enclosed trailer. I said, correct. And she goes, why do you want that? I said, well, do you have kids? She's like, yeah. I said, do your kids get excited when a white box passes on their stage? She goes, no. I said, they get excited when a race car goes by on a trailer. She goes, they lose their mind. I said, I'm going to put 2 dirt late models on that thing back to back, an 8-foot box and a 4-wheeler. And I said, we're going to sell souvenirs and drive everybody crazy. And we were not wrong. It worked great, man. We worked great. We probably sold more souvenirs at the truck stop than we did at the track, but hey, it worked out just fine. So, have you ever considered, or have you done any work over on the radial tire side? And some people may say, well, Kevin stopped at dirt racing. He could have gone to NASCAR, this, that, and the other. Are you doing what you want to do?
Oh, absolutely. I'm doing, so they say if you do what you love, you never work a day of your life. So I feel like that's where I'm at.
Okay.
Because you've already done that.
Yeah.
too.
And I've done, so I worked with Exodyne and CV Products, and I was able to work designing race parts for the chassis side and the engine sides. So I was kind of in that world anyway and learned a lot. But when I had the opportunity to quit and go racing full time, dirt racing,
Yeah.
that was definitely where my passion was and where my dream was.
Yeah. Ever any desire to drive?
Oh, absolutely not.
Not.
That would be terrible.
Yeah. Have you ever tried it?
So I drove the UNC Charlotte Legends car.
Oh, yeah. I remember that
at
program.
at the go-kart track at Orange County. And I was entering turn 3 and my brain was coming out of turn 2.
Okay. How'd that
so,
work out?
So it didn't work out too well.
Okay. You could build it, you could design it, you could engineer it, but actually sitting in the seat's just not your cup
No,
of tea.
absolutely not.
He bought a Tesla. That way it drives him around.
So ironically enough, I scared him one day. He was turning, I was coming up your road. I left the ramp there and I was going back to the house, and Kevin had his arms crossed and he was in his
sits there like
self-drive
this.
mode. And I didn't even really honk the horn. I just touched it. And Kevin read it. He's like, oh, hey. Yeah.
I get angry when I have to drive something and when I have to stop at a gas station now.
I could see that.
convenient.
Yeah. So you do have a Tesla and love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually, my barber bought one and he came down. We probably surf way too much in the summertime. But anyway, my barber came down and he drove it down. I was blown away, man. I mean, I've had GT500s and 350Rs that are supercharged. I've had a couple 911 turbos. Dude, that thing would wax anything I've ever bought. It was impressive and doesn't make any noise. That's the thing that aggravated me. I said, could you put on some music that sounds like car noise? Because I'm really,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, he makes noises like when we were stopping, getting out the interstate just now, like, wow.
Yeah, you have to.
But I've never really been a car guy. I just
Yeah, like
save it for the racetrack.
People think he's a car guy. I'm like, he's just a race car guy.
You know, it's funny because I hear people talk about that all the time. People are like, oh my God, you're a speed junkie. You're a speed junkie. I'm not. I'm a competition junkie. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Dude, we could race goats. As long as my goat is a half a hoof, half a hoof faster than yours, I'm content with that. I just want to win. I don't care if we're going 3 miles an hour or 300. The additional speed doesn't do anything for me other than when I wreck, I tear up more parts. So yeah.
Yeah, and we're definitely adrenaline junkies. So watching on the top of the trailer at the Dream one year, we were leading the heat race with Hudson O'Neill, and I got a alarm on my watch heart rate 140 beats per minute.
Oh, wow.
For over like 5 minutes.
That's awesome. That's
Just
some,
standing there.
that's a pretty good standstill cardio right there.
so
Yeah.
definitely adrenaline junkies.
I got to get a Hudson O'Neill shirt if that works that well, Kevin. Trim right on down there, man. So what's in store? What's the plans for next year? What are we thinking of? What's going on with our family team moving forward? You said about once a month, 10, 11 races. Who is on the schedule to drive next year? Any surprises?
Yeah, so right now we're going to Arizona to race Wild West Shootout.
And you'll run each night there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, all 6 nights. Chris Kern's an excellent promoter. He's moving it to Central Arizona Speedway, at least Casa Grande. And we're very much looking forward to that. And then 6 nights at the same racetrack, you can learn a lot, try a lot, and it's a lot of racing we can get in with leaving the shop one time.
Yeah. Who's going to be our driver?
Hudson O'Neill.
Okay. Good deal. All right. And then anybody else next year?
Well, so past that, we'll figure it out.
We don't know yet.
Okay. Okay.
Sometimes we're like, we get a week's notice.
You never know.
nowadays.
That's right.
So it's like, I can't plan anything because you never know.
Well, and that's what, it was funny because I maybe I asked you about souvenirs. We had some conversation. You were like, when are our drivers going to be?
Yeah.
It's like, well, okay.
I've been doing
that
just
works.
generic stuff.
Yeah, it's way just big number 6. It works out good, right?
And I mean, it depends on what kind of R&D projects we have and,
Sure.
and that workload and balancing R&D programs with actually racing.
So right now, when you look across the horizon, drivers that you haven't currently worked with, who should we keep our eyes on?
I mean, there's great drivers that we've worked with, but not on an intimate level. So Devin Moran comes to mind. He spent a week at my shop. Believe it was 23 maybe, and he left and went and won the show me. So see, he was a lot of fun to hang around and a great racing family as well.
Yeah, right. Anybody else we need to pay attention to that you feel like is going to be a threat here in the soon?
Well, maybe Larson can come out of late model retirement at some point.
Yeah, that'd be pretty fun. Absolutely. When you have Kyle in the car, do you find a tremendous amount more fanfare? Obviously.
Oh, it's a lot. It depends on where we're at though too, like geographically wise, like the different tracks. But yeah,
and I mean the late model audience definitely got used to having him around and accepting him. So that was kind of calm. But if you went in a new area and you had a lot of new Cup fans that would come and want to see
that'd be
him,
crazy.
like Talladega, something like that.
Yeah. Do you find that you have to kind of isolate people from that? Because our pits are kind of open for all practical
So
purposes.
we had to get like a what do you call it? Like the screen for the back of the trailer.
Yeah.
Because like people would just like walk up in there,
Just
change it.
Well,
Like
and honestly, that's kind of our culture, though. I mean, but we all sort of treat each other that. I mean, when I see you guys out or whatever, the one thing we rarely talk about is racing because it's what we do. So
but when you have like random race fans just walking into your trailer,
absolutely, I can see where that could be a problem.
So yeah, we kind of have to protect a little bit.
You touch quickly, not to bounce back. You drive a Tesla.
Mhm.
You see dirt cars going electric.
It would be very, very interesting. I don't know how feasible it would be. I know that Steve Arpin had a rally car company before he bought Longhorn, and they were going down the electric route.
Really?
Yep. And it would be interesting, but I don't know how feasible it would be. Like we get dirty and we got to wash, but
Sure.
it would definitely be interesting.
Yeah. I got a chance earlier this year up at Lake Norman. We actually demoed an electric surf boat. It's crazy because it's making noise. It's like, but we're going and there's a big wave and it was great. So I do think that technology is probably in the not so distant future, but like you said, a lot of variables there. How do we protect it? How do we keep it clean? How do we make it last? That kind of thing.
And then a big part of our racing are the engines. So that would take a little bit away, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone goes to the racetrack to hear loud cars.
And boy, we have loud cars and we have some really good cars. So the engine thing, anything that you feel like if you could make a rule change, what rule change would you make there? I hear guys complain constantly about the cost and durability engines. We hear that. It's the keyboard warriors are every week.
I mean, really, the engine expense is not our greatest expense. The engines are very reliable from your top engine builders, like Jack Cornett and Clements Automotive. Engines, if you take care of them and once you buy them, they're not our biggest expense.
How long would a guy expect to get out of an engine these days?
So if you take care of it, it's 1,200 laps and it's about $20 a lap.
Okay.
Velocita-USA, the world's greatest driving suit. Lighter, faster, better than what you're wearing. Suits, gloves, chutes, helmets, head and neck restraint, everything for your safety program in one location. Check us out online, velocita-usa.com. Give us a call, 336-764-8502. Drive fast, take chances. For all your rodeo and Western lifestyle apparel, check out rocket-donkey.com. That's Rocket Donkey Apparel. You'll see these folks all over the place. You'll even pick them up at the Chili Bowl Nationals. They've got trade show booths at virtually every barrel race in America. Check them out online, rocket-donkey.com. Hey guys, this part of the show brought to you in part by EasySponsorships.com. If you're looking for sponsorship for your race car and running into dead ends and closed doors everywhere, check out EasySponsorships.com and learn from the super sponsor man, Claude Hagerty. He will show you how to find money to go racing.
All right. Fair enough. So you touched on that. What is our biggest expense currently?
It is tires. We go through so many tires. That's probably our biggest expense.
Charlotte, how many tires you go through?
I believe it was like 17 or 18.
So you're putting tires on it constantly.
Yes. Yes.
Now, one of the things that has come up, obviously, the tire prep situation, and we beat on Bobby pretty good about that. We asked him about that, and he brought up a point, something that I had never really thought about: chain of command. There's really no accountability for that tire, because if you go over and you get 26 tires on Wednesday and you don't burn up all 26 tires, Hoosier allows you to return that tire.
I mean, some do, some don't.
Yeah.
It's hard, but the tire testing stuff is, I mean, you can run over things on a racetrack. I think that week Bobby had a fuel leak, so we don't know. You don't know. I think it takes a little bit too long to get some tire testing back, but there absolutely it goes on, and there needs to be a threat against it.
Sure. And there needs to be a consequence for the action, obviously, that type of thing.
Absolutely. As far as could they be better at testing? Like, absolutely. You can always get better at everything, but there's got to be a threat there so guys don't do it, because that's the one thing in our sport that could pick up tenths of a second still.
Yeah.
And it's very unfair for the teams that don't do it. So
some of the teams have argued the other way, that we're kind of at the top of the food chain. We should have an open tire rule, period.
Yeah, I absolutely disagree with that. It takes so much time to do that work, and it's very unhealthy,
Very.
very bad for the environment. And I mean, we wear tires so much. Like, what about the dust that the kids are breathing?
Sure.
In grandstands. So we definitely need to do everything we can to keep that out of our sport.
Yeah. And I think there's arguments. Obviously, the guys who enjoy doing that are going to argue, well, it's already soaked in. It's like lotion in your hands. You hear all that. One of the guys that you have raced with for a very, very, very long time, one of his top crew guys he's the prep king. Like, all the guys, I'm a Bowman Gray guy, so we've prepped up until this year where they started cracking down on us. And most of us have bought chemical from that particular team. And they argue the opposite. They say, well, once it's soaked in, it's no more harmful than this, that, and the other. Who knows what that really comes down to? But yeah, everybody's going to argue their point either way.
Yeah. And when I say tires are our biggest expense, it's a fine line. Like, our tires need to wear.
Yeah.
So there's some fall offs. So there's comers and goers. So there's definitely a balance for good racing.
Right. So kids out there watching tonight, they're running crate cars. They're running at their local track right now. They've got dreams, aspirations of going to the level that you guys are at. Everybody doesn't make it. We all know that. What kind of hope? What kind of promise? What kind of faith can you put in? Work hard, get there. What are the steps? What do they really need to do to make it, Kevin?
All right. So a kid asked me actually a couple of weeks ago, what does he need to do to get in their sport, get a better ride? And I would say, go volunteer for a national level team. Start hanging out, like, be seen, like if you're a driver, they're gonna ask you to test a car sometime.
Sure.
Right? They're gonna put you in it sometimes. So that's my advice for any young racer.
I think the best example of that's Garrett Albertson.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Garrett Alberson.
He went and crewed for Earl Pearson for a few years at least.
Yeah, for a while.
Ended up somehow meeting his now car owner, and now has a ride and does well.
Yeah, and worked very hard at it,
Good example.
and does an exceptional job.
Yeah, he does. A good driver too. And here this year, especially, we saw them hit on some really good stuff a few times and capitalized a few times, had some opportunities that may have got missed, but Yeah, he's really come full circle. I would agree.
And it's a pleasure to see somebody that puts in the work like he does and have the success. So I'm definitely very proud of him and his team.
So, as a family team, when your car's racing, do you have an arch nemesis or somebody that you would consider to be a rival?
I mean, when you're at the racetrack, everybody's a rival.
I could see that.
I mean, you got if we have to make money to get to the next track. So, I mean, when you're at the track, you're going to help any customer that comes ask.
Sure.
But yeah, everybody's a rival.
Absolutely.
I will say though, like I think since Kevin's car and his dad and him like have so much history and like people look up to them and whatnot, I will say that no matter who's in the car, people are usually pretty respectful of.
Sure.
They might not like the driver who's in the car,
Right.
but they're pretty respectful of Kevin and his car essentially.
Do you ever think that a driver doesn't make that bad decision because they feel like you'd withhold information or wouldn't help them the next week or the week after?
No, I don't think so. I think we balance that very well, and we're definitely very ethical and do the right thing always. So I think we handle that very well, and that hasn't came up in any fashion.
I was going to
far.
say that's one of the things I don't think I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen anybody keyboard warrior bash y'all about ethics or doing something or favoritism or this, that, and the other. So I mean, pat yourself on the back. That's got to be pretty big, especially in the sport you guys are in, where loyalty is rare.
Yeah,
very rare.
Absolutely. We're not, like my dad raised me like we're never going to do anybody wrong, and we're not going to have a bad name ever. So
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully you can pass that torch to everybody that sits in your seat and works around your team also. What's your favorite track?
I think it's Fairbury.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Fairbury, Eldora. It's definitely the atmosphere at Fairbury and how many people are there and how close the people are to racing. And you can hear, like, if there's action on the track, you could hear the crowd over the engines,
cars, yeah.
which is surreal to me. So
Yeah. Where's your least favorite place to go?
I mean, they're all like. So I went to Australia one winter. And I came back with the idea that I'm never going to bash any racetrack in the United States.
It is different there, isn't it?
It is a little different, and I think sometimes we get spoiled here.
Yeah.
So that was a good reality check, and I mean, I love going racing places where people don't want to race.
Yeah.
like Tyler County.
Yeah, Tyler County. That's a great
You
racetrack.
just
Cool
won
little
that
place.
race, the
Yeah, had
Innovator
a
replacement.
pleasant experience. Pleasant experience with the promoter and the fans, and had an epic race with Tyler Carpenter.
Yeah.
And it was pleasant, and I don't know why racers don't want to go there. So
It's so dirty
Yeah.
as a fan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do kind of ask for that. The girls had gone out of town to a horse event, and she's like, "What are you gonna do?" I was like, "I don't know." She said, "You're not going to the track, are you?" I was like, "I don't think I'm gonna go to the track." Well, they get home on Sunday, and all my trucks are black. Well, it's not black now. It's like, and I went to Friendship, which there's more fugitive dust there than anywhere in the world, I think. Maybe Tyler County is right there with them. There's a layer of dirt. She comes in, she goes, "Did you go to the track?" "No, I gave you that. I gave you that idea." "I don't know, your burgundy or red truck out in the parking lot now." So, yeah.
I mean, I think we need to move grandstands to the infield and problem solve.
That would be pretty awesome,
dusty
actually.
places.
Because for us, where we do infield pit and people are complaining about dust, we're like, well, it didn't really affect us all night.
Like, Tyler County, everyone's like, "Come to the infield." I'm like, I hate watching from the infield. I don't want to spin in circles.
It's that swirling vortex of death that just kind of seems to
Yeah.
coat everybody. What's your most memorable victory lane?
There's a lot of them. There was a lot with Davenport, a lot with Larson. Like we've built some R&D cars that the last four R&D cars we built have won the first 4 races, and that's very special to me.
Big, yeah.
But I mean, every win is special.
I'm going to put you on the spot. You got to dig deep in the memory bank. What's the first victory lane you shared with Jacqueline?
I would say Virginia Motor Speedway in 2012.
Wow.
With Davenport, yeah.
No,
Man.
Steve
Oh,
Shaver.
Miss Shaver? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that when we won the Lazy Boys, or was that another?
No, that was another time.
Oh.
Wow. So, man, he's right on the
That was
money right
okay,
there.
but that was the other series, the NDRA. I think.
No. There was Kelly Calton was promoting this race. And
Okay.
I
Yeah.
remember it well.
Yeah,
Kelly's still putting races on. He's a heck of a promoter. So, yeah.
Kelly does a great job, and definitely we're as an industry we're glad that someone will devote that time
And he's not afraid to speak for what is right and true.
100%.
And he's willing to take ridicule over it. The whole Ferguson issue with the tire. And I mean, you're basically disqualifying at that point in his series the most popular driver. I think Chris may have even been leading the points at the time. It was a major deal. And Kelly's like, right is right and wrong is wrong. And you're wrong. And I got to call you out on it. And I don't think anybody, Chris definitely didn't believe it, but we saw it and we were like, wow, that was major. So kudos to him. I mean, I hated that it happened the way that it happened, but he had to do what he had to do. And I don't know that every promoter in the interest of finances could or would have made that decision. But to me, Kelly's integrity was worth more than, hey, we're going to let it slide this time.
Yeah, and that's why he's been in the sport for a very long time, and it gets called to do jobs quite frequently. So, yeah, you got to be fair, where you won't last long.
Yeah, no doubt. And have you seen his compact, the 4-cylinder series he does at SCDRA?
I have not.
Dude, it's like NASCAR quality. I mean, these cars look incredible. He pays big purses. These guys are all popping out with custom suits. They're all sponsored up. He's at premium places, and they put on a show that it is mind blowing. If you happen to get a chance for an SCDRA show, that's Kelly's deal. Go see one. You'll be man. I had no idea they were doing this. I was truly mind blown the first one that I'd seen. So memorable victory lanes. You got that. You remember the first one with Jacqueline. Where would you like to go to victory lane that you haven't been yet?
The next race in Arizona.
The next race. Yeah. That's pretty good. Yeah. So you've not won in Arizona? New track though, right?
Track.
Okay. All right. So, man, I like that. That's a pretty clear-cut goal right there in front of you.
Yep.
Yeah, right on.
It's only 2 months away, less than now.
Yeah, just
month and a half.
We really don't have an off season. Do you think the off season or lack thereof being shorter has also hurt some teams as far as being able to regroup, rebuild, find more money, get back on the road? Do you think that the short off season or lack thereof has hurt some guys financially?
I don't know financially, but it's hurt the workforce because people need some time off with their families, and good employees are very, very hard to find. And I think that's where it hurts the sport a little bit. This year is going to be interesting since Lucas moved their speed weeks after the 500. So now there's really not an off season.
Yeah, because everybody's going to stay after. Wow, I didn't think about that.
March used to be kind of our off season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that's accepted.
This episode brought to you in part by Schoenfeld Headers, Van Buren, Arkansas, all the way back to Daddy Schoenfeld, building the best headers for all types of racing. If you need headers for your race cars, SchoenfeldHeaders.com. Check them out online or at any of their thousands of retailers nationwide. This episode brought to you by Bassett Racing Wheels. Whether you're looking for a 15-inch inertia wheel, rolled edge, armor edge protection, whatever it is that you need, DOT, IMCA, Bassett Racing Wheel has you covered. Bassett Racing Wheels is the leader in short track wheels nationwide. BassettWheels.com for all your racing wheel needs. This portion of our show brought to you by Woodleaf Raceway Park, right on Facebook. Check out the world's greatest dirt go-kart track with a focus on kids and family. They have un-go-karted go-kart racing. Jeff Freeman and his staff work tirelessly to make sure your kids are safe and having a great time. Check them out on Facebook at Woodleaf Raceway Park.
Do you feel like there's any backbone to the rumors that the two series could in the future merge?
I don't know. I think competition is good for everyone, and I think there needs to be two national series.
Yeah. And there's enough dates where a lot of guys cross over and run both. Is there much change between the two series that you guys have to do when you go back and forth?
No. So C. Francis and Rick Swally, they work very close to make sure the rules are the same.
Yeah.
And they've done a very good job for that. There's very few things that are different that you have to change or have to look, for when you go run between both series.
Now, each of those series will reward a driver if he commits to the entire series. Is that correct? Some type of guaranteed money or winner's circle money, tow money, I think they call it.
Tow money and winner's circle program. And
free passes.
I mean, for Lucas, that's probably about $60,000 a year. So that would be an employee.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. It would be. So that obviously gets you loyal, keeps coming back. And how many shows a year does each run? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I think Lucas is right at 60 maybe, and World Outlaws is maybe slightly less, but don't quote me on that because I don't know for sure.
Wow. Yeah, that's a bunch of dirt racing right there.
Plus,
So
like the World, the Dream, stuff like
you
that.
did. You got your majors absolutely, and it seems like it appears that each of the series respect each other's major, so that the major can be a major.
Most of the time,
Yeah,
Yeah.
You can run all the crown jewels with no conflict.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Is there anything else you can think of, Eric? Is there anything that you want to bring up before we get it out of here? You good?
No,
Yeah,
good.
we're good.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So, again, thanks so much for coming. It's really exciting to see that you do put a variety of drivers in the car. You guys have had success with everybody, haven't you?
Yeah, I think we won races with everyone. So that's a compliment, I think, for a
Yeah,
team. So,
absolutely. Well, you've obviously got, arguably the best Longhorn stuff out there, Kevin.
yeah. So I was looking at checks hanging in my shop. There's just checks from Davenport. This is recent. Since 2018, there's checks from Mike Marler, Davenport, Tim McCready, RTJ, Kyle Larson, Brandon Shepard,
Wow.
right? Hudson O'Neill. So that's a
That's big,
Yeah.
man. That's big. That's big. Can we talk about the shock thing?
yeah.
Okay. All right. So this year we saw, I guess it was this year, we saw some changes with what you guys were doing with some of the suspension stuff. And you guys had been on Bilstein for quite some time. And it looks like that you guys, I don't know, there's a lot of speculation. What happened?
Yeah, so basically, Bill Stein couldn't re-sign me because the European market, the outlook wasn't as good as they thought it would be. So
Budget cuts.
yeah, so we chose to add a vendor in Olin's shocks, and we're gonna have those and service all brands for all of our customers.
Gotcha. And you guys still sell the Bilstein stuff. You're still working hand in hand with those guys. What really was the change necessarily?
Yeah, so Longhorn Dynamics was created by Steve Arpin and Longhorn Chassis to service all shock brands, because we didn't want a customer to think they had to buy a set of Bilsteins,
Sure.
because that's a huge expense to
Very
buy a
much.
Longhorn. So we service all brands, and we'll get all brands as close as we can to what we think is the best. So that was the reason for Longhorn Dynamics. So we wanted to add Olin's back, and they have an incredible amount of resources that we could tap into. We've had our car on the 7-posts at their shop, and,
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
and learned a lot. And I think it's definitely translated to on-track performance.
Now, Olin's is doing the cup stuff currently. Is that right?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
the spec shot.
So
Yeah.
they won 100% of cup races.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
isn't that the shock you have? That's pretty good odds right there.
Yeah.
That's like, we should start the Longhorn Cup and only allow Longhorn chassis. Domination all the way. Yeah, all the time. I heard that the other day. Somebody said, man, Longhorn wins every week. I'm like, well, 24 guys took the green flag. 22 of them were in Longhorns. The 2 provisionals were something else and something else. They stood a pretty good chance, you know? But that's a testament, because guys could spend their money on any kind of car they want.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's an honor for someone to spend their hard-earned money on a product that we've designed and manufactured, and we definitely strive to give them the most support we can.
How hands-on are you with the shocks?
Through Longhorn Dynamics, with our team there, we can design a shock piston and have it later that day.
Wow.
So it's very powerful.
That's pretty awesome. It's not a lot of folks that have that ability. And at this point, I mean, there's probably not a lot of, I'd say there's probably still technology, because you guys are learning every day, but we're talking subtle changes that can make a huge difference. And a huge difference is a tenth. A tenth is, I mean, what does it cost to find a tenth of a second today?
I mean, it's so if you come to Longhorn Dynamics or Longhorn, we've done all the hard work for you.
Right.
Right.
And
So-
I think people don't really understand that. We all used to, as kids, maybe you guys didn't, I'd find a roller from some Joe. I'd find a motor from some other Joe. I'd find me a Burt or a Bren from some other Joe, and I'd put it all together and try to make my own casserole. I could have bought that car race ready out of Victory Lane a month prior for another 10, 12, 15 grand, and I just would have had to get in the seat. but I felt like I was saving myself money. And what I didn't realize was money was time. You guys will do the whole turnkey package. I could bring you my drive line. You'll put my car together. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, we've done all the hard work. We know the shot curves that are best for our cars. So we're offering all that service to all shock brands, and we've added Olin's, and can tap into their worldwide resources, and I think it's going to be very exciting.
I go down, I buy a new Longhorn. Do I get a setup manual? Do I get a tuning guide? How does that work?
Yes. So we have a technical guide that's a bunch of technical images, like CAD drawings that show you what parts to use, where the placement of bird cages, everything.
How to set everything up?
Yeah, and then the setup guru Matt Langston and Longhorn has provided a tuning guide that's very extensive. So I think it's like 40 pages long or something.
Wow. Yeah, right
Yeah.
on. So it just helps keep all your customers kind of in that window.
Yes.
And yeah, I always wondered, you look at some cars and they've got brackets and there's 22 holes in the bracket. Does that happen sometimes just to throw people off?
No. I mean, if we design something, like I'm a simple guy that wants you to stay in the box. So if I design a bracket, it might have 1 or 2 holes.
Yeah.
Right. But customers feel like they need some adjustment. So we definitely, there's a balance between protecting the customer and giving them what they want to play with.
Do you find sometimes customers are truly their own worst enemy?
I mean, sometimes, and that's why customers need to reach out if our product is not meeting their expectations, because what we see is I have customers in my shop sometimes that are struggling, and we have them in Longhorn to go through the cars, and stuff's a quarter inch off here, quarter inch off here. Brakes are wrong. So those are some of the common things that we see.
Yeah. And everybody seems to want to kind of do it their own way. But when you guys have the package that you have, why would anybody in your car want to do it any way other than what you guys have already established? Nobody's going to know more about it than you.
Well, I mean, I think if they take our tuning guide and use all the resources in there, there's a million different combinations they can use to find the competitive advantage.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we just want to get them close and get them on a baseline where they can go out and use their creativity and their brain power to beat the competition.
Right on. So years ago, I remember I was at a little track and we hot lapped and we were awful. And it was Friday afternoon. It was early enough that I could actually call the chassis builder. You're going to know who the chassis builder was here in just a second. I'm not going to tell you yet. And he said, where are you at in the program? I said, we don't have a program here. I was thinking like the magazine. And he's like, no, where are you at? What have you done? You hot lap, qualified, heat race, featured, LCQ? What are you at? I said, oh, we hot lapped. He goes, huh. They have good hot dogs there? I said, what? He said, do they have good hot dogs there? I said, I guess. He said, I want you to go to the concession stands and I want you to get 2 of them all the way and eat both of them and call me Monday. I don't make hot lap cars. I make race cars. And he hung up the phone.
Oh.
And we won.
Yeah.
I got my first win that night. It was CJ Rayburn.
Yeah.
You already knew that.
Yeah.
Before I said it, I was like,
Absolutely.
man. Yeah. So I called him back on Monday. He goes, I already know what happened. And he goes, here's the thing. Hot laps is just to make sure crap don't fall off your car. And he goes, in most cases, in your application, I wouldn't even hot lap. It makes you scrape mud off a car. I was like, huh. He says, the racing don't start then. I was like, okay, fair enough. You know what? He was absolutely not wrong,
Yeah,
but
very wise man.
he was. But so many times, we'll sit there and we'll make 4 changes, overthinking everything before we ever hit the dirt the first time. Let's say, now change the 5th coil. No, don't change the 5th coil. Let's move the panel bar. Let's don't move the panel bar. Move that left rear bar. Let's don't move the left rear bar. It's like you've already psyched yourself out. And if you just do what the manufacturer says, chances are you're going to hit the dirt and the car is going to be right in the window and we can make subtle changes to it all night.
Yeah, like I said, we've already done the hard work and we've already failed millions of times. So
To keep us from failing.
yes.
Yeah. I'm honestly, that's awesome. I had no idea you guys were that hands-on with your customer, but that's a testament to why there's so many race cars out there. How many chassis have you guys built now? Do you know?
So I think we're up to serial number. Don't quote me this, but it's around probably 1360.
And it started at 0.
Yeah, it started to 0. Yeah.
First year for the car? What year could I have bought my first Longhorn?
So the revision, the current revision of Longhorn, I believe started serial number 1 was in 2013.
Wow. And if I want to order a new car today, how long does it take to get?
Steve Arpin and the guys there, they have a schedule. They definitely have slots filled in. So I think there's a pretty good backlog, but definitely stuff is available and slots are available.
Now, with that kind of backlog and build, and Jackie and I talked about this about parts last year, you guys had struggled getting some parts and stuff like that. I've got a Longhorn. I'm doing great. Bam, I wiped the front clip off. Am I a priority customer, or is the new guy getting his car the priority customer?
No, absolutely. Like during the racing season, if a customer knocks a clip off, we will figure it out.
Right on.
We will figure it out how to repair it and get it back to them.
Yeah. And I've been by there Monday morning. I've seen multiple haulers sitting there in the parking lot. I'm sure they weren't there for social visits.
And I mean, like Garrett Alberson's a good example. Him and Kate Diller got in a wreck at Batesville, and his
I
hauler.
seem to remember that, right? It was a little scratch on the quarter panel.
Yes, and his hauler was in our parking lot, and we got him going again, and very happy customer.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Awesome. Well, man, you guys have been great. Thanks so much for coming up. Jackie, we still stay in touch. You've helped me with some interns and stuff. So, well, your current role right now, you are doing what?
I am an instructor in the Motorsports Management program at Rowan Cabarrus Community College. So I'm based out of Concord.
And what is that curriculum kind of all about?
It's like a hybrid between like business and tech in the motorsports industry. So it's aimed for people who want to work in the motorsports industry but might not know how to get in, or maybe weren't raised around it or something like that. So it's a lot of like entry level skills. We teach a lot about like logistical management, marketing, basic management skills. Then there's also engine drivetrain, chassis handling fundamentals, fabrication. So they kind of come out like pretty well rounded. And really that's what moved me to North Carolina originally, was to take this program. So I'm a graduate from 2008 when I took the program, and then now I'm in it as a teacher. I've been there since 2019.
Nice.
So-
And what is it that you actually teach? What are your classes?
All of them.
Oh, wow. Okay. Right on.
So
Perfect.
Right now I am, my semester right now, we'll be done in like a month, I guess. I have Intro to Motorsports Management. I have that for first semester students twice a year. And I have Organizational Mobility. So that's like the more logistical management one. And then I have Safety and Environment. So I need to have you come talk to the students.
I know a guy. I know a guy.
Classify.
Me or Justin, either one, we'd be happy to come down and talk about that anytime.
Yeah.
What is these students that come through the program, are most of them really chasing that motorsports dream, and most of them want to work in that type of environment, or is it people getting education to go racing, that kind of thing?
It's a little bit of both. So I have like a wide range. I have some who are, say, like NASCAR people's kids who
Sure.
want to like work in the racing industry and don't want to do a hard degree.
Right.
Right. I have racers themselves. I actually have a lot of kids who race like Hickory and Cars Tour.
Oh,
and
nice.
stuff. A lot of them actually in North Carolina, you can do community college while you're still in high school. So I have
Yeah.
a lot of high school students
Wow.
because it counts as their high
Credit.
school credit.
Yeah.
So I have dual enrollment. But then some of them are like, it's kind of like their parents are still making them get a degree because what if the racing doesn't work out?
Sure.
Whatever. But then I have some who have like never been to a race before, but they've seen it on TV and like it.
Intrigued.
So it's like a wide range. So it makes it kind of hard with like teaching and content planning, because it's like I have a kid who already knows what rules are and what SFI is, and then I have one who's like doesn't know any of that.
Right. They're
So,
trying to figure out
yeah.
what does that stand for?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So every semester is different because I have to mold it to what they know already.
And you've been teaching there for how long?
Since 2019.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So really
and
long
it's
time.
a 2-year program for the most part. We have shorter versions, like a certificate diploma.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do they graduate with when they
It's
finish
an
that program?
associate in applied science and motorsports.
Applied
management.
science.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they can transfer it to a 4-year degree if they want. They'll have to do a little more electives, like a psychology or
Right.
something like that. But the good thing is they don't have to take any of those filler classes with
Yeah.
the applied
Do
science.
you find that most of them are making the 4-year degree out of it, or do you find that once they get that, they go dig their heels in and find someplace they want to be?
I would say most of them just go straight to work
Right.
nowadays, unless they have, if they want to go to UNCC for engineering or something
Sure.
like that. Because you pretty much nowadays, you can't be a crew chief unless you have
Right.
that, for the most part.
Absolutely.
But I would say it's rare, and maybe they do go on later on, but I just don't know about it because I've lost contact over a certain amount of time. But I mean, that's what I did because I graduated in 2008, and I really didn't plan on going back to go get a 4-year degree, but I had work visa issues. So I
Yes.
had to go back to school to get
Sure.
a 4-year degree, or
Yeah.
else I probably wouldn't have. One of my best friends is a graduate of the program, and she's head of HR at Roush Yates,
Wow.
only has the associate degree. Not that that's bad, but I just mean like you don't have to go get more.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that the society's kind of going that way now instead of making everybody go get a 4-year degree.
Yeah. As an employer for me, no disrespect, 'cause I know you got a lot of credentials on the wall. My wife went to college for like 29 years. She's still getting degrees, I guess. But for me, can you do my job? And are you able to do that? And for me, it's not always about that piece of paper. It's about that desire, that willing to learn in order to get there and do it. But I think more of these micro degrees, micro learning,
Yeah. I think it shows that
applied
they can be
science.
dedicated and go to school,
Right.
and then I can help them with networking, because we do a lot of field trips where we go to places and you get to meet people and see different types of jobs. Because
Nice.
as you know, there's the whole motorsports industry is an ecosystem in itself. So there's so many job opportunities versus people just think it's like you're a driver or a pit crew guy. Like, no, there's all these jobs, and it takes a village, right?
It's amazing. You're exactly right. It's amazing how many people in the puzzle that it is. On like Kevin's side, we know Kevin and Steve. They're the front of it. But dude, there's so many more people in that shop. You guys just inherited one of our old employees, Mike. He welds bumpers for you.
Oh yeah.
He was actually on our trade show crew for a while. So you never know where people are going to. And like you said, it takes a village. It takes so many people to do it. So it's really awesome that you can help people plug in and see all of the
As
opportunities.
you know, a lot of it's networking too.
It's
It's a lot of who you know too, not what you know. It's both.
I tell them all the time, you need the knowledge, but you really need to know who you need to know in order to get where you need to go.
Because if you just apply for a job online,
Yeah.
you're not going to stand out compared to anybody else. Really.
Rarely. You know what? I would love. I mean, I love doing what I'm doing. I'd love to just go interview for jobs just because I'm really good at sales. I'd talk you into anything. We'd be like, yeah. So you're an engineer, huh? Yeah, I'm sure. Is that what you need? Yeah. Well, I'm an engineer. Yeah. No, that's awesome though. That's really good to know. You've been there since 2022. You went through the whole COVID thing, the whole deal, and a lot of your stuff now is still online learning. Is that correct?
A lot of mine's online. Like I said, I have a lot of college students. I have a lot of high school students. I have a lot of students who race. So finding a schedule that works for everybody is pretty hard. So I try to do like field trip situations where they can come and have camaraderie, but also meet people and have a shop tour or something like that. That's how we kind of have like the face-to-face interaction, and it's like voluntary.
So we'll give you a free plug. How can they find out more about your program?
Yeah, so it's rccc.edu. It's the motorsports program, so it's under programs offered, and my contact information's on there.
Awesome. And Kevin, while we got you, we're going to let you plug Longhorn. How can we find out more about, like, we don't know how to find out about Longhorn, but some people don't. So how can we find out more about Longhorn?
Longhorn.com.
LonghornChassis.com.
Yeah, longhornchassis.com.
Okay.
Contact the sales staff there at Longhorn or Steve Arpin directly, and we'll get you taken care of.
Did I see someone, you guys were going to do some kind of open house or something?
It was during World Finals.
It was during World
And
Finals. So
talk
I
about a
did see
full
that.
parking lot.
Oh man, I bet.
I heard it was not a disaster, but a lot of people.
Tough. Okay, cool. Is that something you think you guys will end up having every year during the World Finals?
Like I said, Steve's a big thinker and a dreamer, and he's already got it planned for next year.
Awesome, man. So if you guys want to come down, check out, see what Longhorn's got going on, be a great, good time to come down, see the shop, meet the staff, see what's going on, see what's happening there, man. Well, if I don't see you before then, I'll see you guys on the lake. We do get to pass you guys in the evenings. We both like to enjoy the sunset cruises and stuff there on the lake. So it's pretty nice to do. Jacqueline, thanks so much for rounding Kevin up. Kevin, we appreciate you coming up.
Yeah,
Did you drive the Tesla tonight?
Yeah.
Well, it drove us.
I was going to say, you didn't touch the steering wheel, did you?
Yeah, it drove us.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's super cool, man. Well, thanks so much for being with us, guys. Guys, that's going to do it for another episode of Driving Fast and Taking Chances with Bad Brad. Be sure to check out this episode. You can check out all of our episodes wherever you get your podcasts. Drive fast, take chances.